Welcome back, little bro. It's older bro here, and I've got the perfect no contact guide if you want to get your ex back with the best possible chances. So let's get into it. Number one, you're not gonna expect this. I want you to end things neutrally. In a breakup, it is the natural response of both parties to be chaotic, to be messy, to be mean, and that's normal, okay? You're not abnormal for not ending things well with your ex or vice versa. But here's the deal. If you're already watching this, odds are really high that she's already broke up with you, and that's fine. I'm just telling you this moving forward if you ever find out again one day, or she takes you back and then dumps you again so that you at least know how to handle it. And how you handle it is simply as neutral as possible. So if she dumps you, she says, we're done over text, however she does, you don't beg, you don't chase, you don't try to convince her otherwise. You just sort of say, you know what, that sucks, and I wish that we could be together. I really love you, but if that's what you want, then I don't really have a choice. I wish you all the best. Take care. Something like that, right? That already is going to start flipping the power dynamic on her because she's gonna see you're not that affected by it. She's gonna start to think you don't really care, which is gonna make her lean in, which is gonna make her start to chase you very quickly. If you end things as neutrally as possible, okay, you won't have to do this step. So here's what I mean. The first step, if you have not ended things mutually or neutrally, okay, so you've been toxic. All right, so we're stepping into bad territory. You told her you hope she dies and goes to hell. You told her that you hope she burns in hell for the rest of her life, because that makes sense, totally. And it's just you. So in other words, you said that to her, but she didn't say that stuff to you. You were the one that was toxic when she tried to end it or whatever else. This is what I want you to do. The first step is I actually do want you to reach out, okay? If it's been less than 30 days, okay? And the reason why is because after 30 days, if you reach out again, she is going to view that as extremely weak and not as an actual move of strength on your end, okay? So if you are toxic as hell and you reach out afterwards and you say, hey, I was being a piece of shit, I'm sorry for how I reacted. That is not how I should act. That is not how I'm gonna act in the future. You deserve better than that. I can understand why you don't want this relationship, and I don't blame you. I understand. I'm gonna work on myself, and I hope you do well. Take care. Something along those lines, okay? Now here's the deal. Odds are she's going to ignore it, okay? You need to expect that going out. Why you're apologizing is because you're actually trying to get neutral. You're trying to redo just a little bit of that damage by simply saying, if this is the last time we talk to each other, ever, right? And there's a very, very, very slim chance of that. But if it truly was the last time that we talked, holy hell, I do not want that to be the last thing I said to you. That's why you're reaching out. You're apologizing like a man. You are acknowledging you did something wrong, and it's within the first 30 days. So it's not something like you realize this 6 months down the road or even a couple months down the road and you try to apologize then you're gonna come across as an asshole. Then I'm telling you it's gonna have the exact opposite effect, okay? So only within the first 30 days if you were a completely toxic piece of crap. And then here's the thing, if it was just you, if you were a toxic piece of crap and then she was a toxic piece of shit too. So you guys both went at each other and both said, I hope you die, I never want to see you again, blah, 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 blah. If you both did that, then you don't need to apologize. You just back away. You do no contact, you just back away. If you apologize after she's been like that with you, even if you were the one that initiated it, you're still going to look weak. And I know you're still sorry, and that day can come, and that day will probably come soon, where you'll be able to apologize to her for that, but it's not now. Now is simply not the time to do that, okay? So the first thing I want you to do is end things neutrally. So again, to recap all of this, because it's very important, the first step is if it's within 30 days and you were toxic and she wasn't, okay? Those are your three qualifiers. If all those three things are true, then you can reach back out and you can say, hey, I'm sorry for being a piece of shit. I need to work on myself. I don't blame you for ending the relationship. Have a good one. That's it. You're not going to get a reply back, odds are. If she does reply back, she's going to be angry and hurt, so you don't really want to entertain that either. You just want to reinforce that idea. So if she replies, you're going to push the conversation out and say, look, I'm not in the headspace right now to deal with this. You deserve so much better, and I'm so sorry I couldn't be that for you. Something like that, all right? It's very disarming. And again, she'll initiate that chase a little bit there too, so you probably won't have to go into no contact for a long time if she's already going and chasing you like that. You've ended things as neutrally as possible. You're willing to move on to the next step. So what is that? Number 2 is that you have to mute them. Mute them, but do not block them. You should never block them on social media. Don't block them on your phone. Don't block them on anything unless you truly never want to hear from this person again, ever. You don't want to get back together with them, you know, whatever. And here's the thing, most people watching this video, the vast majority of you, you want your ex back. And that's cool. Here's the thing, there's gonna be a small portion of you though who will not admit that to yourself. You're gonna watch these videos and think, no, I'm watching them to heal. And it's like, okay, but you still want your ex back. You're like, no. It's like, it's okay, man. It's okay to admit you want your ex back. That's not weakness. You understand that that's part of your masculinity, is being able to admit to yourself, yes, this is what I want, and I don't give a shit if anybody else likes that or not. That's part of being a man. So the second point is that you mute them. You do not block them. You mute them because you do not want to be tempted to reply or to react to anything that they do on their stories, any of their posts, okay? So this is just to keep temptation as low as possible for you. You do not block them, because if you block them, I know why. You block them because you want to trigger a reaction of loss in them so that they will reach out to you sooner. That's manipulation, that's playing games, and I promise you, if it works in the short term, and it might work in the short term, you block them, it gets her to reach out, and you feel good for a day, she's gonna do the exact same thing, which is leave again. And what are you gonna do, block her again? Because I promise you, you do it again, she's not gonna come back next time. I'm dead serious about that. There's a high chance that blocking her a second or third time means that she runs forever. She's not gonna talk to you anymore, okay? Do not block them. And here's what you really need to understand. The opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. It's the I don't care. You blocking them proves that you're still angry, that you're still holding on, and you have not detached or let go from them. All right, do you understand that? If you have blocked them, it's not because you're done with them. If you've blocked them, it's because you are angry at them, it's because you want them to feel some sort of pain that they've inflicted on you, or you simply want to get them to reach out to you. None of those are you moving on and detaching or being healthy. None of them. So again, the reason you mute them is so that you are not tempted to reach out or to react to anything that they post, because I'm telling you right now, once the breakup happens, when it's fresh, they pretty much only post things or do things to get you to have a reaction. They're gonna post, you know, how happy they are, or the new man that they're with, or they're gonna post them being somewhere they never said they'd go, you know, whether it was some club or some party or whatever, and it's gonna make you think that they're getting with somebody. That's exactly what they want. They wanna make you regret however you acted in that relationship. So point number 1 was to end things neutrally. Point number 2 was to mute them, but do not block them. Point number 3, we're finally getting to it. No contact. Okay, so everybody thinks they know what no contact is, and it's simply you do not reach out to them for any reason. That's half true. Yes, it is true that you do not reach out to them for any reason. However, most people are still viewing their snaps. They're still viewing their Instagram stories. They're still liking their posts. They're still checking and probably obsessing over their profile or their follower counts or going through their new followers or all of this other stuff. And guys, I'm telling you right now, all of that does not count as no contact, okay? It ruins it. And here's why. When you reach out to her, you text her, anything, it's going to give her validation. Whenever you view her story on Instagram, it gives her, you guessed it, validation. You like one of her posts, it gives her, you guessed it, validation. That same validation she gets from you liking a post is the same validation, maybe to a slightly lesser degree, but it's the same validation she gets from you messaging her after the breakup. That's why, even viewing it, she's going to understand you're still around, you still want her, she doesn't have to reach out. She doesn't have to do anything because she knows you are still orbiting her world. She doesn't have to do a thing. She doesn't have to reach out. You're still there. That's why no contact is so powerful, because she's going to realize once you stop liking, stop viewing all of her posts, that you are totally gone. That's when she's going to feel your absence. That's when she's actually going to start missing you. That's when you're going to pop in the back of her mind after a couple weeks, maybe a couple months at most. And all of a sudden she realizes, where's he been? Is he mad at me? What's going on? That's why, again, it's so important you stay neutral. Not mad, you're not angry, you're not upset, you're just neutral, you're stoic. So point number 3 is, if they reach out, you do not ignore them. So you're gonna stay no contact, yes, but if they reach out, you do not ignore them. So here's what I mean. If you ignore somebody, now not always, but chances are high that you ignore them because you want to hurt them. If you did not care, if you were indifferent, again, that would be the opposite of love, you wouldn't mind replying. So they reply to you, hey, or they reply to you, hey, I missed you, whatever, and they probably never will, and we'll get to that. And you leave them on red, that's not indifference. Usually that's you trying to hurt them by saying, giving them the cold shoulder, removing your attention from them, removing your love from them, removing your warmth from them. And you want them to feel hurt because for the past couple weeks, couple months, however long it's been, you've been the one hurting. And that's logical, but that's also emotional. And that emotion is what's going to destroy your chances with her if that's what you really want. And let's face it, the reason you're watching this is probably because you want her back. And that's what's going to destroy it. Here's what I mean. Let's get to the nitty-gritty of this, because when a woman reaches out for the first time after no contact, usually it's with a low-risk text message. So what I mean by that is a low-risk text message is something like, hey, how have you been? Are you still alive? Something along those lines. It is not laced with emotion, although she feels emotional, absolutely. Here's the thing, she's not going to open up to you through those first couple of texts, usually, because if you reject her, if you leave her on read, leave her on delivered for days, do something like that, it's gonna hurt her feelings, yes. But now here's the deal, let's go with the opposite of that. She sends what's called a high-risk text message. A high-risk text message is something like, hey, I've missed you, I've been thinking about you, what are you up to? Or I missed us, I wanna give this another shot. Again, extremely rare. But if she sends that, that's a high-risk text message, because if you ignore that, if you're cold or indifferent to that, that is going to destroy her feelings. It's going to shatter her ego and absolutely crush her. And she'd rather not risk that right now. So she tests the waters with you with a simple, hey. And it drives guys nuts because we're very direct when it comes to love. We're very direct when it comes to relationships where if I say, I want you, I want to go on a date with you, there's no subtext there. It's just, I want you, I want to go out with you, I want to have fun with you. What else is there to know? But with a woman, most of these things are subtext. All right, it's what she says in between the words that she actually says that she wants you to understand. So during no contact, point number 3 is after you've gone true no contact, you're not watching anything, you can stay no contact, but you do not ignore them when they reach out. And most guys get upset because all they get is a hey after 6 months. And they think, you and they think that it's because she's somehow using him or somehow is trying to string him along or something. Now, maybe she is, but the point is she's not going to just dive into the pool head first the first day of the year, okay? The new season of your relationship is not going to be with her 6 feet on the high dive going straight into the water, all right? She's gonna dip her toes in a little bit, wiggle them around and see if you're still warm or not. Because if you're not warm, if you're cold to her, if you're mean to her, if you're angry, if you leave her undelivered, leave her on red, then guess what? She's not diving in that pool. This is where a lot of guys just screw that up. It also leads me to point number 4, which is when she reaches out. And usually it's gonna be just a simple hey. You stay neutral. You're not warm, you're not cold, you're polite, but you're neutral. So she says, hey, how have you been? Hey, are you still alive? Hey, what's up? Anything like that. Your reply needs to be something simple like, hey, great to hear from you. Hope you've been well. That's it. It's not cold, it's not warm, but it's polite. And that will drive that woman nuts. You're only going to do that until she opens up with you. So in other words, she texts you, she reaches out after a few months of no contact and she says, hey, how are you? You simply reply with something along the lines of, been good, been busy, hope all is well. And again, that's a flat, neutral reply. She's not really gonna know what to do with that. But here's the deal. If she leaves that conversation right there, then odds are high that she was either just using you, just testing the water, didn't really miss you, but just kind of wanted to test how things were between you. And again, it's not cold. You were polite with her. And here's the deal. If she continues the conversation, and there's a high chance she will continue the conversation, whether that day or the next day, or maybe a couple days from now, maybe a week from then, is that when she reaches back out again, it's gonna be the same deal, but she will slowly open up to you. So in other words, she will say something flirty with you. And when she does, you simply match that energy up to half. So if she says, I missed you, you can say, I missed our talks. Or, Yeah, I remember how much trouble you were, haha. So those types of replies are flirty, but they're not quite matching that level with her yet. It's that difference that's going to make her start leaning in and chasing, because guess what? She wants to know if you guys are still good to go, because that's why she's really reaching out. So point number 4 is that you stay neutral with her when she replies until she starts flirting. And when she starts flirting, then you only bring it up to 50%. If she gets sexual, again, you only bring it up to 50% because that is what makes her chase that feeling, okay? And pro tip, it's better for you to end the conversation yourself and early or at the height of the conversation and leave her wanting more. Just to reiterate, these 4 points for perfecting the no contact method, and it's simply number 1, end things neutrally. Number 2, mute them, but don't block them. Number 3, go no contact, but do not ignore them. And number 4, stay neutral when they reach back out until they start to open up or get flirty with you. Lil bro, you got this, I've got you, and I'll see you in the next one.